Hey there, Skeleton Key here. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. As always, if you are joining me live, I hope you will pop into the chat and say hi at the very least. Of course, always welcome to, comment on the books or anything I'm talking about, I guess, and anything you want to bring up about reading or readathons, anything like that. And also, hope you all had a happy Wolfdagen yesterday. It's Swedish waffle day, and so yeah, I had fun. I went out and had a waffle omelet. So it's an omelet, basically an omelet, but made in a waffle iron. And it was probably entirely too much egg because eggs and I do not get along, even though I like eggs, but they don't like me that much. So, but so far it hasn't been, the repercussions have not been too awful, but it was very tasty. And yeah, did not have any traditional waffles. So, but yeah, that's March 25th every year, and always have fun seeking out new sources of waffles and waffle adjacent foods. And yeah, so if you did anything for Wolfdagen yesterday, please let me know, and let me know what wonderful waffle-y foods you've been enjoying. And it's much more likely, however, that you are watching this on replay, because I didn't even give an hour's notice for this. The week has already gotten away from me. I blame the eggs. But yeah, it's shaping up to be a really busy week already. But I've got books to talk about, so let's get on to that. But if you are watching on replay, of course, feel free to jump into the comments and comment there and have a little conversation. But let's see, I will share my screen so we can see what I read this past week, or what I finished anyway. There we go. All right. So I finished 3 books last week. So yeah, this rate is not great. Let's hope that I can finish off March with a bang. But first, I read Owl Babies, which is a picture book. And I did this for the Irish Readathon. Apparently, this is a classic picture book. Come on. There you go. And Martin Waddell is Irish. I don't believe Patrick Benson is. I looked him up. He's the illustrator. And I'm wanting to say he's American, but I'm not 100% certain on that. Oddly enough, I loved the illustrations. I thought the illustrations were absolutely wonderful. I only gave this 3 stars though, because, all right, so this edition anyway, this was, I got it through the library's Hoopla, and it was a read along. And so you basically, it just kind of puts you through the pages and reads the text. And if there's a page that has just illustration but no text, it just kind of zips right over it. And I'm like, so I was constantly having to like go back, and it's like, I want to look at the little owl babies, because owl babies are really freaking cute. And so Yeah, so this format did not really appeal to me. Also, the narrator, and I don't know, I don't think it said who the narrator was. I could not stand the narrator. I was like, "Can I turn the narration off?" Um, so yeah, if you get it, with that read along, see if you can turn the narration off. Or well, listen to the narration and see if it just doesn't make you wanna go, like, screaming. But anyway, it's, yeah. But if you're like me, you'll see if you can turn the narration off. But on the text, it was fine, but I have a really hard time since I've heard the narration, kind of divorcing the text from the narrator's voice. And so it kind of ruined it for me. And, so that's not the author's fault. And I feel kind of bad giving it 3 stars, but I mean, the text wasn't exactly awesome or, I don't know. It was just kind of there, and it was a nice little story, I guess, but it did not, like, blow my socks off or anything. But I did love the illustration. So, yeah, just, like, turn the volume down and, or better yet, see if your library has a physical copy of it and just do that because the illustrations are amazing. And let's see. But that was for the Irish Readathon, and I think that's the only thing I finished for the Irish Readathon so far, except for the book with green on the cover, the crayons thing. And then I read Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead. I get why some people don't love this book. I loved it. I am not Catholic, so maybe that makes a difference. I don't even really know that much about Catholicism. I would be at a loss if I had to pretend to be Catholic in order to get a receptionist job. But anyway, this is I'm thinking it doesn't actually say she's autistic, and I'm not sure what exactly. She definitely does have the main character is Gilda. I think it says here 20-something lesbian. And she's obsessed with death. And ever since, and this isn't a spoiler, but when she was a child, her pet bunny died. And ever since then, she's just been kind of obsessed with death. And so she's got invasive thoughts. And she definitely has some executive dysfunction going on. And just looking at comments from other readers, they they found her other readers find this character cartoonish. And I'm like, no, no, executive dysfunction is a real thing. And yeah, she has it bad. But and or ADHD a lot of times goes along with executive dysfunction, and so maybe that's part of it. With this character, like I said, it's never actually diagnosed, and well, she's got depression of some sort, and she's a frequent uh, client of the local ER, and they all know her by name, and she knows everyone there by name, and I can kind of identify with that, but thankfully not due to depression or anything. But yeah, nosebleeds, yay! But yeah, I think this book has a lot to unpack, and I think a lot of people miss that. Because there's this sort of recurring theme. She keeps winding up in the ER, and they keep giving her referrals, and I think they give her like a starter prescription to, like, I can't remember what it is, Xanax or Prozac or something, one of the standard antidepressants, and and give her a referral to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, or who, I guess, is it a psychiatrist who can prescribe meds? I don't know the nuances of that, but yeah, and it's obvious that the medication that they prescribe for her, even though, they tell her, look, if you start having suicidal thoughts, come back, because this obviously is not the medication for you. But she's got executive dysfunction. So even when she realizes, oh, yeah, I'm having intrusive thoughts and suicidal thoughts and everything. So yeah, this has a lot of content warnings. And it starts off with a car crash. So there's that. But yeah, she does not have the wherewithal to actually get that taken care of, get that addressed, that this is not the medication for her. And so this is just this recurring theme throughout. And also that, yeah, she's just constantly like digging herself deeper. And she breaks her remote control. And it's like, now what do I do? I can't change channels. And or she tries to figure out how to do it manually. And of course, on most TVs these days, that's not really a thing anymore, I think. If it is, it's not easy. It's not intuitive. And and her dishes stack up, and then she finally decides, I'm gonna do something about these dishes. And then she tries to lift them all at once, and they fall and break. And yeah, so it's just this, everything just seems to be piling on and piling on. And she's really struggling. But and then there's her family life with her parents. Parents are ugh, her parents are awful. And then her brother, who has his own struggles. And yeah, I don't want to get too into the weeds here, but there's a lot going on in this book. And there's also a lot to unpack with. There are some scenes that, people are like, well, this was supposed, why is this scene in here? Because it was just like trying to be funny, but it wasn't funny. And I'm like, I personally think that was very intentional, because a lot of these things are very tropey, comedic, um, slapstick almost kind of things. And, things that are played for laughs, but if you stop and think about them, they're not really funny. And I think she kind of put those in there, maybe sometimes not as elegantly as she could have, but she puts them in there and she demonstrates, oh, yeah, being caught in somebody's private space and having to hide under a bed and worry about sneezing because of the dust or whatever. That's not funny. It really isn't funny. And so she's in this position that she's really stressed about it, and she really demonstrates how stressful that kind of situation is. And you can argue about whether or not she should have gotten into that position, but and that's another point of this, is how does somebody get into this situation where you accidentally get a job and then have to pretend to be somebody else? And that's another layer of this story, is that you're, as someone who's neurodivergent, as this character obviously is, you're constantly being, if you let your mask slip at all of a sudden everyone's like, why can't you just be normal? what's wrong with you? And so this, she's not Catholic and she's a lesbian, and she gets accidentally gets a job at a Catholic church. And so she's pretending to be someone she's not. And thus finding herself in these really weird situations. Um and going, how did I get here? Um and I don't want to go through the entire book and analyze the entire book, but I thought it was really good. And even the people who didn't like the book, part of the reason they didn't like it is that the author, Emily Austin, was so effective at getting the reader inside this woman's head and making the reader uncomfortable right along with Gilda. And I mean that takes some talent. So I thought it was great. Um, some people don't like the narrator. Emily Tremaine is the narrator. I thought she was fine. Um, so your mileage may vary. And then Homegoing by Ya Jesse. Um, this originally this was for a an Old Town Library book club that I missed because I didn't finish it in time. It's actually pretty long. It's yeah, 13 pages on Audible, pages meaning hours. So between 12 and 13 hours, and which is not long, but it's a little bit longer than usual. And yeah, it actually had to go back to the library at one point, and then I got it back and finished it. This is really well done. This is an excellent book. I gave it 4 stars. It's it's really well done, and I really got a lot out of it, but there was a lot of stuff that also is just not my cup of tea. It's a family drama spanning generations, and normally I would be just kinda, "Eh," but and maybe that's part of why I didn't, get very far before book club, and that's why I missed book club, but yeah, I once I got into it, and it is a little difficult to keep people straight. I had to refer to written things a lot because I was like, a lot of the names I had trouble keeping track of because I didn't know how they were spelled, and that's a me thing, is that if I hear a name and I don't know how it's spelled, then I just kind of my mind just kind of blanks on it. So, yeah, I was constantly having to look up how names were spelled, and I did not have a physical copy of the book, so I was having to find reviews and summaries and things. And yeah, so this, says she has written a modern masterpiece, and I don't think that's an overstatement. Yeah, yeah, this was excellent. Just wasn't quite my kind of thing. I would not have picked this up had it not been for the book club, because I'd be like, um, and a riveting kaleidoscopic debut. Yeah, this is a debut, um, which that's mind blowing. Um, a novel about race, history, ancestry, love, and time that traces the descendants of two sisters torn apart in 18th century Africa across 300 years in Ghana and America. And so I'd be like, and you'd think I'd be more interested in that, but I don't know. It's just, and maybe it's just because so many of those aren't done very well. Um, but and this does get a little bit more lit fic than I care for. I'm a genre girly, and um, so yeah. But no, I would highly recommend this to anybody, even if it isn't really your thing. I'd say give it a go, um, because it's extremely well done. And yeah, this was nominee for Best Historical Fiction. My guess is that it just didn't get enough. I don't know who won that year for historical fiction, but yeah, this was a pretty amazing book. Um, so those are the 3 books that I finished uh, last week. And let's see, do I have anything? Can I? I'm looking to see if I can. Okay, so Irish Readathon, Middle Grade March. Yeah, I'll go ahead and stop this for now. So yeah, so March Mystery Madness, Middle Grade March, Irish Readathon. So those are the 3 big things that I'm doing this month. Where am I? I have not been making super great progress on these. So let's see. These are the physical books that I need to finish this week. Yeah. Some of them I do have audio for, and with audio, I can do other things in theory. Or if I'm having a bad pain day, I can just lie in bed and listen. But we'll see how far I get. But yeah, I've got Bridge to Terabithia is for middle grade March. The others are for March Mystery Madness and Irish Readathon. Oh, In the Woods is for Irish Readathon. Yeah. Yeah, the March Mystery Madness, though, that's the one with a lot of prompts. But let's see. Let's take a look here. I think. Yeah, let's see. Oh, for middle grade March, also, I lived on Butterfly Hill. And let's see. Yeah, so I need to finish that. That returns in 4 days. A Patchwork of Clues is also for the mystery one. That's the quilting prompt. And I haven't quite finished Cursed Bunny. I don't have a whole lot left on that. It was actually fairly short to begin with, but I don't know. It's a short story collection, and that was just kind of. Well, no, there are some stories that I'm really liking, others that I was like, I don't understand, and then others that I'm like, ew. It's a mixed bag. I have very mixed reactions. And then, oh yeah, on the fiction, these were the octafinals. This is the fiction group that I chose to follow and do a read along with. I have picked up copies from the library of Family Meal and The Maniac. Absolution, I think I just got a pickup notice from the library. And Orbital, you just saw. I have started that, and I've finished Yellowface in December. And then Northwoods, I'm probably going to have to burn a Libro credit, because the wait list for the library is just so long still. And I need to read that by the 14th for Book Snobs. And that's a local book club that I'm in. But yeah, I'll even the whatever 3 of these don't make it through to the quarterfinals, I do intend to read them and rank them as I see fit, whether or not they go through. And then let's see. I think that's pretty much it. Other March reading. Oh, I do have The Baking Yesteryear still. Not yet. Yeah, I've got a few things that I was working on because I thought they were going to have to go back to the library, but they got renewed. So those, and they're nice and horror-y ones for, and so those will be really good for readathons next month. And let's see. So we'll move on to just kind of looking ahead to April. And I'll just show you right here. This is Seasons of Reading. They're the blog. They do, well, here's the list over here on the left-hand side. So I did Winter's Respite. I don't know. I have a really hard time getting signed up on time and then doing the check-ins and everything. I just lose track completely. And so there are prizes and everything. This one has giveaways. There's a $15 social justice charity donation. There's a $5 Amazon e-gift card. Yeah, and I am just not on top of it this year. So maybe, but that was Winter's Respite in February. And so Spring into Horror is next month. And here's the sign up right on the front page right now. And so hopefully I will get signed up in time and get that going. I've been trying to do that over on Mastodon, at Noctua.social. And been trying to keep up with stuff over there and getting better at times, and then I kind of fall off. But yeah, it's a work in progress. And let's see, so I think that's all I have on my screens. But let's see. What else we got? Old School April Nostalgiathon. I already told you about that. And the live that I did Sunday is, it's my TBR pile of possibilities kind of thing. And I mentioned that there's a host recommendation that I've had lots of people telling me I need to read. And I went to the library to pick up my holds, and they have a little kiosk there of Friends of the Library books, used book sale kind of thing. And I always check it. And guess what I found? I found Bunnicula. They had it. It was $1. So I got Bunnicula. So that will go on my TBR for Old School April. And that will also count for Spring into Horror. So, hey. And then let's see, TBR clear out. Yeah, still planning on doing that. And then I also found People April. And yeah, I've got links. It was kind of a rush job tonight getting the description out there. So it's all I have are the April readathons. I did put hashtags in there so that you can click on hashtags and find all the March stuff. But I didn't have time to copy March stuff over. But I've got, I think I've just got one announcement video for People April, and that's, let's see, Scallydambling with the books and bouquins and bouquins and books, or books and bouquins. Anyway, Elizabeth. So but they're doing People April, and I was like, oh gosh, can I do another one? But then but it's to read books about real people, or autobiographies, or and I was looking at the prompts, and I was like, oh cool, I already have one, and the prompts, they're quotes, and it's like, well, can you make your book kind of fit this quote? And so one of the quotes was about travel, diaries and travel, and I'm like, oh, I've got Way Out There, and that's it's not a diary, but it's authors talks about his trekking and his wilderness trekking. So I'm like, yeah, that counts. So, and then the other was biography. And so I have lots of biographies. I'm sure I can find one that won't kill me. But also in the group read, I just went and it was already available. I didn't have to put a hold on it. It was right there on Libby. I am. And that's a memoir by Maggie O'Farrell. So I'm like, okay, I'll just borrow that now. And so I've got that ready to go. And it looks to be fairly short. And it was intriguing to me because it's her life story through basically her near-death experiences, her cheating death. She almost dies a lot, and I'm like, I almost die a lot, not nearly as much as this gal. Wow. So it'll be interesting to read about another person who cheats death a lot. Okay, well, let's see. That's all I have for right now, I think. I should mention, just looking ahead to May. In April, early April, I will be putting out some videos about Mysterious Mayhem. And that's a readathon that I've run 2 years. And I think I started off doing 1 week, and then I did 2 weeks last year. This year, going all month long. So working on getting all of the details together, and we'll have that. So be watching for information about Mysterious Mayhem coming in May. I mean, when else would you have mayhem? But anyway, didn't have a whole lot to talk about as far as finished books, but I've got a lot going on this week. So, and oh gosh, the month ends on Sunday. So, and Monday is April 1st. April Fool's Day on a Monday. Oh, I'm so glad I don't work in an office anymore, because that would be hell. But anyway, happy end of March, and I'll see you next month and talk at you later.